Hello everyone, welcome back to Civil 3D for Land Surveyors. So this is part 2 of the fourth video, which is our video covering how to create a record of survey. Okay. Alright, so I believe I have my at least in my model space of my drawing here, I believe I have all the text I want and or need for this. The subject parcel here, I was going to try to make this as accurate as to what it's supposed to be, but I'm just going to go with whatever information I had before on this. But basically what I'm saying is we're just going to make this up a little bit. So for the subject parcel label here, this is mostly an example and a placeholder for you guys, but I discussed when I first made this that I do the parcel ID, the owner, the address, and then the area. I was gonna make this like true to what it is, but I'm just gonna fill it in. I am not discussing how to do legal descriptions, but obviously your area is going to be whatever your legal description comes out to be. Okay. One more thing for labels here. I want to put a background mask on this, so that's as simple as clicking on it, go into the properties. You just scroll down until you find background mask. Click on it. Say yes, you want to use a background mask, and also you want the fill color to be the background color. Click OK. So the background is white, so the mask should be white, and there we go. There's background mask on that. Okay, so now we have that. I got all my labels that I want in here the way I want them. So I'm just going to click on these guys. I'm going to select similar, and then I'm going to change the layer to the layer that I need this all to be on. Mine's called align text, so that's what I'm going to use. And then there we go. I always leave mine just in the default color at first, so that way I could see what still needs to be worked on or edited, and then I finally change it to the layer when I'm done. So, and also if it's still colored like that, it pops out and I can see what needs to be worked on. Now it is time to add some elements that I want to include into here. So the first one is like we have our legend over here. Your company or you would have had to make this, but for my legend, it shows street monuments or sections and what my lines are and so on and so forth. I want to use these legends to add the property corners to here. All of these were found, so all you need to do is as simple as copying this guy and then just slapping them in every corner. I need to turn my in every spot that property corner was found. We just need to make sure we're telling people what's up here. But yeah, I need to incorporate some of my legends into here. You need to tell them that where you found and if you found any of these things. So as a requirement, yeah, it's important to add these property corners. There we go. So now we've told them where we've found the property corners, and if we didn't find one, we need to set one. So down in your legend, you should have a block or whatever to signify that, hey, we have to place the property corner in. But since all these are found, I just put, hey, we found all the property corners. Okay, so now from here, we're going to start adding the basis of bearing line and the tie line. So I found out that the basis of bearing will be running along here. It goes from the northwest quarter corner, west quarter corner, and the north quarter corner. So there's multiple different ways in which you can draw your basis of bearing line onto your plan view. One I would always do is I'd go to my existing parcel data and just copy and paste that line and slap it into here, trim it up, and then fit it. You can also just draw it on. We're going to do my first method, which is we're just going to copy and paste. So here's my basis of bearing. That goes from my northwest corner to the west quarter corner. I got a section line here, and my time. I want to copy and use these in there, because that's what we use to determine the rotation of this parcel. So rotation, position, and everything for this parcel, we used all these lines, so I want to include these lines into our record of survey. So I'm just going to copy them, go back to my record of survey. I'm just going to hit Control Paste. It's going to be super big because the scale between these it's a lot. I'm just going to break these lines. Grab this. Go back up into here. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to turn my ortho on. Rotate it that way. Cool, and then just move this back down here to our paper space. There it is. Still going to be way too big, but now we got the general size of it. Let's just break this down some more. Bam. Bam. There. Alright, I've broken this down way too far, but it works. Let's put that right here for right now. I'm going to take my tie line, move it to its correct spot. Just connects right there. that. Alright, so now that I've adjusted all my lines and put them over where they need to be, depending on if you guys have if you have your own legend and layout workspace and so on and so forth, I have my own like lines and like little template of my own for what I need everything to look like. So I just take these lines, match them to what my basis looks like. I take this for my tie, match it to what my tie is supposed to look like. Cool, so now all that's good. I'm going to take what my survey monuments look like. My survey monument looks like. Oh, whoops, that's the edge of my paper. I'm going to put my section corners there. We're going to extend. It's okay if these lines are not exactly the way I want them. I'm just going to mess with this. Just extend it up to here. Okay. So now that I have these all figured out this way, we need to start adding more details. So I'm going to be adding my break lines here, just to show that these aren't the actual scale and or size of these. So we're just going to copy and paste these guys here. Copy and paste and rotate them. So they're going where they're supposed to go. I didn't do what it was supposed to do at all. Better. Just take these. Take these. Put them where they're supposed to go. Yeah, I think y'all get the idea. Is you just need to throw these break lines in, rotate them, and make them look nice. Okay, so this is how your basis of bearing is supposed to look. Add it in, throw your break lines, put your section corners. Now we need to start labeling and telling what all these are supposed to be. So first and foremost, you need to label what all of your section corners are. So give all the information regarding it. For example, this guy. Alright, so for example, for this guy, we want to say that this is the northwest quarter corner of section 30 township, section 30 township 5 south, range 2 east, Salt Lake Basin Meridian. You need to specify whether or not you found or did not find the monument. This one was found. You have to state like what it was made of, like what the material was. We'll just say for this guy, it was found brass cap. Oh yeah, now I gotta do that to these other two monuments. I have to give the label what's going on with them. Fast correction here is like this should just say corner, not quarter corner. Don't know. Should say to the northwest corner of section 30, not quarter corner. Quarter corners are reserved for the north, south, west, and east. So this north is the north quarter corner of section 30, blah, 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 blah. So I've added those. Now we need to start adding our information regarding our ties and our basis of bearing. So this is as simple as we'll just add a label here saying what this tie is doing. So this is going south 716.75 feet, and then tie. All right, and then we'll put what our basis of bearing is doing. You have to label that it's your basis of bearing and also give the rest of the information here. So this guy is going north 0 degrees 20 feet 54 inches west 2660.61. Cool. All right. Oh, by the way, if you don't know how to add a degrees symbol, it's just it's %, and then D makes it into a degree symbol. Just a little tip for you. That's where I would end this for now. You have to label the point of beginning. So our point of beginning is right here. Put this up here so it's kind of out of the way. Cool. I'm going to put a mask on this guy. In a lot of ways, you got to be a little bit of a graphic designer and make things look good. Alright, let's fill out some more of our information here. So at the very tip top here, there's always going to be your title, which has what it's supposed to be. So this is a record of survey. So at the top of your page, you'll have your title, which will state that it is a record of survey. You will give the address for the parcel of land. So this is 250 south, 2000 west. You'll give where it is located within the township and range. So for this particular parcel, we are located in the northwest quarter of section 30 township 5 south, range 2 east, Salt Lake Basin Meridian. I'm going to stretch that. Located in the northwest quarter of section 30, township 5 south, range 2 east, Salt Lake Basin Meridian. And then after that, you have city, county, and state. So we're in Pleasant Grove, Utah County, Utah. Close that. That's all you need to do here. Let's fix our north arrow now. This is rotated 90 that way. So, boop. Perfect. We need to fix the scale bar. Fix the scale bar to be the correct scale. So this guy is 1 to 30. So we could put this 30. And then it goes 0, what the scale is, and then double. So this would be 60. Okay, so this is starting to look really good. Okay, when it comes to creating a vicinity map, there's multiple ways to do it. The best and most primary way that a lot of people do vicinity maps is you get line work from whatever county site or government site that has like roads within it. So for example, we use UGRC, which is our GIS data collection website that has like parcels and all sorts of other information in it. This specific one here is like all the roads within Utah County. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take this. I'm going to mark out where my property falls here. So for example, I'm just going to take my existing parcel data, which is just this guy here. I'm going to copy this in there. Back to my ROS. Paste that guy in. Cool. Now I'm going to take this, take that. I want to move this out of the way because I don't want it showing up in my viewport. I could just like freeze these layers, but I don't want to do that. I want to make this all consistent. Let's see here. Let's just go like this. So that way it's not going to show in my viewport. Cool. Let's go. Where is it? So we'll be using this here. So if we go to our drawing space, up here will be your vicinity map. unfreeze this. Alright, you want it close enough and or far enough away that people can tell where this is located. Since I have it shown up here, you also want to add a hatch into this. I'm going to zoom in. Ignore the random text that I have displayed on here right now. I just go from like one thing to the next, so that's why this text is on here. Cool. Let's take this and we'll make it, doesn't have to be too annoying. Let's find wherever my hatch is. Alright, so now we got to label these roads. And depending on the standard, like you'll say, hey, this is your vicinity map, and some people put like what city this is located in, and some people don't. But your vicinity map should give like an idea of where your project is located. But I'm going to fill in the name for the roads and stuff off camera, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. But yeah, vicinity maps are super easy. You can use either parcel data or roads and just indicate where this is, where your parcel of land is at. But I'm going to fill in the road names and then I'll get right back to you. Okay. So you don't have to go too crazy with it. Just give enough roads or whatever that people can look at and get like a general idea of where it's located. Your record of survey will have like in the title the address anyways, but vicinity maps are purely there just to give people a general idea of where this parcel is located. So this should be sufficient enough information. I wouldn't go too crazy with it. Alright, so now I'm going to discuss with the surveyor certificate, the narrative, the legal description, and the reference documents, what these are and what they mean. The surveyor certificate formally documents that the survey was performed under the surveyor's responsible charge and is in accordance with applicable standards, and that the information shown is accurate based on the available evidence. The narrative is where the surveyor explains how they determined the boundary. It outlines the purpose of the survey, what evidence was used, and how and if any conflicts between record and field data were resolved. The legal description provides a precise legal binding definition of the parcel. Typically it uses metes and bounds or reference to a recorded plat and ties the property to a known coordinate or survey system. And then the reference documents is just where you put all the documents used to create this boundary. The reference documents are the records that the surveyor relied on, like deeds, plats, previous surveys, to help determine the boundary of the parcel. So from the reference documents here, I just want to just mention a little bit of the title block. The title block varies from place to place, who you work for, how you've made it before, but you just fill in the information how you normally do. So you have like your scales, your date, your addresses and revision dates and so on. The only thing I would change on mine here is like this would be your business information. So you put on surveys and plats and whatnot, you have to put your business information, because this shows which company performed the survey and provides their contact details and so on, and holds them accountable and blah 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 blah. That's what I would have put here instead, but yep, that's pretty much about it. All right, so here's the end product. I've plotted it out. I just want to cover the elements that are on this. So first off, we have our title. So you state it's a record of survey, you give the address, you give the location where this parcel is located. So you say it's the northwest quarter of section 30 of Township 5 South to East, Salt Lake Basin Meridian. So you have to label where it's at, what township and range section, and also which meridian you're using. You got to give them your city, your county, and your state. So Pleasant Grove, Utah County, Utah. Over here, we have our vicinity map. You want to give your vicinity map. You just want streets where the project is located, and like this should be plenty fine. Your north arrow with your scale bar. The elements that are required on the checklist and also just standard is your surveyor's certificate, the narrative, the legal description, reference documents, and then you need to give your basis of bearing, your monuments that were used and surveyed, your tie to your property. You need to label the point of beginning. You need to label the boundary of the survey, and that typically goes clockwise. Label adjacent and label your subject parcel. Make sure you have a legend on there. If you're doing contours, you need to label your contours. But yeah, this is pretty simplistic. This is typically what you'll be doing. What else? Oh, so here's the submitted ROS that I did. This is back when it was 3 separate parcels. The thing I want to talk about here is if there's difference between what you've measured and what there is per deed. So this could be like a change in rotation from the measured basis of bearing. You want to tell them, hey, here's this per deed, and then have your measured there. But you just want to make sure you give as much information as possible to show all the elements. Record of surveys can get as detailed or as complicated as you want them to be, but outside of that, they're not too difficult. Just a lot of tedious work, but well, this is all I just wanted to show, and that's it. This is the end. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope I was able to clarify or help you through this process and show you how to do some things. Sorry if like some of this seems a little rushed, or I didn't cover too much, or if I skipped something. I'm trying to get this out in like a timely manner for the college project, so yeah. Well, hope you enjoy. I'll see you later.